So, people, I'm just having a day on a lake. It's rammed. There's a match on the lake behind me. Loads of anglers all fishing for crucian carp here. I think most of them are after crucian carp and or tench, but it's a crucian carp. Big fish water, I think. Day ticket, and I thought, well, I'll give it a go. So I've no idea. I'm in probably the worst peg. It's called peg 12. It means nothing to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, it's all different. I haven't got maggots, I haven't got casters, I haven't got worms. I'm just using these things. It's looking on the Facebook site, it did say about wafters and all the new stuff. So I'm figuring, because so many people use this stuff, maybe I'm wrong using maggots. And you know, old school, maybe people don't use maggots like they used to, I don't know. So I've got these things. I'll turn it around the other way. They're called a mini boiler. I'm trying to look for the size. I'm a sweet corn 10mm boiler. I'll show them to you. And I know the reason I'm using it is Matchman use sweet corn a lot. See, I haven't even got sweet corn, so it's a real gamble. These things are just like carp boilies, but they're little mini things. So I've thrown some of those in. I've got one on the hook. I've sort of don't know what I'm doing. It's banded. It's banded. And then I've got some pink prawn 10mm. When you started, I tried side hooking them. That doesn't work. Not really. So I've got a band on. So I've got those as well. I'll chuck some of those out. My granite mix is almost, my God, it's almost match orientated, isn't it? Bit of Bailey's feed in there with some stuff called River Barber or something it's called. So it sort of smells really trout pellety. I've got some of that. And with little Matchman's catapult. So I've just come to this one because it's got lilies here. You can see I've got the lilies there, and over the back I've cast out. They've got these weird sort of, I've seen it before for match fishing, I guess, ropes going all the way across either side, so you mustn't cast over that guy's swim and that swim if it's match fishing, I guess. But I've seen it before, but it does seem a bit bizarre, you know, having bits of ropes all across the surface like that. But it's the way it is for match fishing. So if I don't catch anything here, I've started early doors for me. It's about 9:30. If I don't catch anything here, there's a small pond, like a kiddie's beginner pond. So let's say I'm starting about 9:30. If I haven't caught anything by 2 or 3 o'clock, they shut at 5 or 5:30. I'm going to dive up there for a couple of hours, see if I can salvage anything. But we'll see how I get on with these baits. I've got to say, it feels a bit weird. No bubbles, no nothing, very still. I've only come here because it's a feature. So what I found in my bag of throwing is a bag of these 6mm pellets, which just look like they're called halibut pellets, high leakage, ideal for specimen fish. Well, I'm not bothered what I catch, but I'm just going by the size of them, and that might be better just to get a bite or two. I'm just not, oh look, I do boilie fishing obviously when I go for the big carp, but this is just a fun session. It might be fun if I don't catch anything. Weather-wise, perfect for boat fishing, but I couldn't get out. Been thick fog this morning, that's going to burn off, and it'll probably be quite hot later on, so I've got the brolly up as well. So no bites, nothing. I've had those out about 10-15 minutes. One tiny tap on that one over there. I think I'm going to try down in here with some of these small pellets just to see if there's anything like roach or rudd down there. So these ones are definitely very, very dark pellet. You see, so this is quite a bit of oil in there. So have a few of those out. And I'm wondering if I fish that on the float on the inside, which is actually a pole rig I've got on there. I'll show you in a minute. Ready-made pole rig. Trust me, the shot are too small for me. And let's chuck a few of these out there. And I think one on the hook. Now this is a pole float there. That's the pole float. I've cut it right down. It was 3 meters in length. So I just cut it down to about 5-6 feet. All the shot, you can see a sort of bulk there. And I just banded one of those mini boilie things, which is coming off. Hadn't been on there 15 minutes, but they might have that. I just thought yellow might be the colour if they use sweet corn a lot. So let's get this banded out and see if I can get a bit like barbel fishing, really, isn't it? You feel so lost without maggots. They are pretty small for banding these, I think. There isn't a fish get going on them. They definitely can work well. Very pleasant. This is my first fishing trip about with a rod and line like this. For, well, not that I normally use dynamite, but with a rod and line I call it float fishing. Quiver tipping for about since 3 months. Let's try this. Now when I looked online on the Facebook page, I noticed what other anglers are saying, that these wafter things or semi-floating whatever's work. So I've got a feeder out there. I think I need to damp that ground bait down a bit more, make it glue, because I'm casting out to the other, towards the edge of the island. And well, it's strange not seeing any bubbles or movement, but that's the way it is. It's starting to warm up. Look, they like the edge of my umbrella, all these insects. Hopefully they're not the biting kind. I do like the smell of this particular brand. It's called Cell, C-E-L-L, and it's like a sort of coconut, but I do find it good, and I think the fish like it as well. So I'm going to put one of these on the feeder and try that, because again, that boilie's done no good at the moment. I'm guessing they float. Yeah. Well, it's certainly an idyllic day, but not for fishing. So I'm now 9, 10, 11, 12, I've got for 4 hours. I haven't had one bite, not a bite. A couple of, not even liners, I think it was a grebe that knocked that line. The float hasn't sunk once, except when I overshotted it with the weight. So I think I'm going to go down the beginner's lake. There's already a guy on there. I've walked right round this one, and I've got to be honest, I haven't seen a fish caught. Not one fish. I haven't seen anything caught on the Match Lake at all. I was going to say somebody scratched and bream out, I don't know. Weird. A beautiful day, but not for fishing. I'm going to go down the other lake, I think, and see if I can salvage a couple of hours down there. When I say lake, I mean pond. Well, I've actually moved around to the other swim. It's dead as a dodo there. Gentleman next to me, he's on a centre pin, he's fishing for cushions, I guess. Not a bite. So I've come around to this small pool, but these are all new. So they're obviously making this a match fishing pool as well. but they've got all these ropes everywhere, you know, so you can't cast over that side or that side, which is a bit, I suppose you've got to call it unsightly. I get it's for match fishing, I get it, but shame. But that's well, I've seen other fisheries like, I think one or two I've seen like that. So I'm trying. The only place of shade I can find is down there, and the feeder's just out in the middle, like you do, just throw feeders out. I've got the brolly up, trying to keep a bit of breeze off, and I'm just going to see the last 3 hours out here, see if I can pick anything up at all. What I've done is I've moulded some of this ground bait, this barbel grape, but whatever they call it, barbel ground bait, for paste. See, I've made it up with a paste because I'm feeding that ground bait, and those other boilies I'm just not getting anything on at all. I have got one on there, quiver tip right there in the middle, purely because I thought I had one bite on it over the other place, but I think in retrospect it was just a liner. So let's chuck a bit of bait in. Can't take it up, well I can take it home. What I've done is I've just sort of spread it in 3 different places there, because I don't have a pole here to hold this float, you know, against the drift. The rod's not long enough, and I've plumbed it slightly over depth. I'm just going to work away with the tiny specks of paste bait. I mean, look, it's a blinder of a day. It's just not fishing. No, it's a superb day. And I missed a rod ring as well at the other lake. So let's see if we can. I've got it over depth, so you might be able to see it from there, but it's just dragging. So eventually the paste hopefully will stay on the bottom, and I might have to go a bit deeper still. That is the problem with the pole float. It's not like a waggler that you can sort of sink it with an extra shot. Sometimes a fish will pick it up dragging through like that. I sort of feel a blank coming, people. Hard to believe on this little lake here. I don't think there's going to be huge weights on the match lake somehow. You know, like 100-pound bags. I'd be interested to see what won it. Maybe somebody sat on a shoulder beam and they've got a 100-pound net. But just going by general fishing, tough. Oh, I missed a bite then watching those guys over there. Quite a few people starting to pack up now. Of course, the problem being with here is you have to pack up at 5 o'clock. Well, from 5 till 8:30 is peak time for crucians, 10, and you got to go home. But that's the way it is. I just missed a little bite there, so fingers crossed. I'm wondering actually if I scissor some of these up, you know, because it'd be a big roach to take some of those, wouldn't it? I think I'm going to scissor some of these up small, and I can put a little section of it on the hook. I don't know if that's ever been done before. I don't need to band it or anything. It's getting to desperation now. Well, I've got those down to like quarters and halves now. Well, let's see if that makes any difference at all. Get one on the hook. And if I don't get any bites on that, then I'll go back to very, very tiny bits of paste. Quiver tip's not even moving. Finally got a fish on, guys, finally. Tench or crucian, what is it? Money's on a small tench here to salvage the trip. Which with this blue sky in the background is quite something. Yeah, baby tench. He's only a little popsicle tench, but listen, I'll pick him up, he will be. He come in pretty quick, I have to say. There we go, in the sunshine. A nice fish, sure to leap out of my hands, but away he goes. Goodness me, thank the Lord for that. A blank saver. Small cruise would be nice now. That was on that paste bait, ground bait paste. I've got to there's 8mm pellets on here, but nothing else. I might try the paste on here as well. And the feeder's just down there close now. Well, I can't really speak of what this ground bait's really like. At the current catch rate, this barbel one, but it does, if you get it wet and keep working it and kneading it, excuse my fingernails, like most of that is ground bait, it does make quite a nice paste bait. You can get it quite soft, so that's something for the future. Obviously, if they're feeding on the particles of that ground bait, it's common sense to try and make a paste bait of it big enough to stay on the hook. Keep that piece, and you just, if it dries out, just wet your hand rather than the paste bait ball, and damp your hand, and you can get a bit more moisture into it. I did see a little bit of mud come up down there. Almost tempted to take the equivalent off and just put 2 float rods out there, to be honest. Mind you, it's like tennis, you'll be looking, they're a bit too far apart really. I'm sort of thinking I've made so many changes today, it's ridiculous. Baits, soft baits, hard baits, cutting baits in quarters. Because I've seen that little stir of mud down there, I'm tempted just to put almost a 3-line bait there. Literally just to wait, take the feeder off, small hook, maybe a BB shop, because I'm so, you throw it out there, that's how it go in. They're looking at it. I just let it sink down there, almost watch the line pull tight. They might feel a bit of resistance on that feeder. It's not the world's greatest one because I haven't got a big stock of feeders. Yeah, make the change. There we go guys, little small skimmer. I thought I'd lost a couple of roach early on, but I think it's these guys. Well, 2 fish salvaged it and 2 lost. Oh, I've got another fish on. Either it's another one of those skimmers, or this one looks particularly like a roach. And this is all, as you can see, look at the state of my hands. I'm just mixing some more up of the paste bait. I'm using the tiniest pinch now, and I generally squeeze it flat on the hook like that. Oh, there's hardly any weight to these pole floats because they're not really for casting, are they? I'll put a bit more water with this to break it all up, get it softer. It's a very powdery. Just little pellets around, sort of 2 foot, 3 foot area. Are the guys packing up over there? I guess they've not caught very much. 1, 2, 3, 4 packing up. There's another hour to go yet. Another small fish here, looks like a roach. So, struggling today people. The guy up there, further up, been getting some fish on sweetcorn. So, it makes me wonder about what I call, not artificial baits, but I'm just on paste bait, you know. Nearly out paste bait. They'll take it, but if everybody else is feeding sweetcorn, that's what I should be using. Got about 40 minutes left. Chucked quite a bit of ground bait in, not too much, because obviously there's not the fish here to eat it at my end of the lake. There's a big tree down the other end of the gate, and he was fishing the shallow line there. So a good spot. He was there from 8 o'clock this morning, but then I was there from about 9. But in the other lake, maybe we should have come in this lake first. But you know, you're trying for big attention, a big accretion, and then you suddenly think, do I really want to sit out here in the blazing sunshine and blank, or do I want to catch something? And invariably I get sucked into, yes, I want to catch something. One more small tent would be nice. That's it, guys. Pretty much another failure. Another one, chalk up on the blank board. Not the blackboard, the blank board. It's the way it is. That's what fishing's about. That's why I call it fishing and not catching. So just that one tench. A gent up there had loads of small tench on sweet corn, so I really shot myself in the foot by not having my old traditional bait. But I have to try these baits, don't I? You have to try it. And eventually I got some skimmers at roach on paste bait, but it's going old school. It's going the same way, going backwards. The other ones, I've tried everything. Nah, I can't get anything more than a slight tap on them. I dare say they do work in certain situations, but not today. I wish I had worms, maggots, sweet corn, but there you go. I've tried it. So don't go away, I'll find something else for you guys. Fingers crossed. Won't take me as long as it has in this one to catch some fish. Hang around. That float's on the move now, but it's small fish doing this. Well, folks, day 2. Yesterday was I'm going to call it a ball buster of a day for me. So I've come down to Watmore. It's about 3:30 in the afternoon. I've got 2.5 hours, 3 hours fishing. Going to give it a go. Been in to see Grant and asked me where am I going wrong, Grant. And forget the little mini boilies and that. He's given me a pint of maggots there. Just leftover stuff, spare. Gratefully accepted. But he's given me some weird paste baits as well. I've got a bit of ground bait mixed up there. I don't even think I'm going to need it, to be honest. He said you've got to get them a little bit moist. This is a paste he's going to be marketing these, he thinks, soft robin red. And this one absolutely reeks. It's got Banoff on it, so I figure it's Banoffee pie. I don't know. So I'll be trying some of that, flicking some of that out. Now, it's going to come for roach. Breeze is picking up a little bit, so I have to put the umbrella up for the mic. It's all over, what they call variable wind. So I'll come this way, it's variable wind all over. I've got my polarising glasses on. I've already seen, after throwing a couple of handfuls of maggots in the margin, so I always do here at Watmore, there's fish on it straight away. I'll see if I can pick some up the camera for. You probably didn't get that one, but I'm going to put some balls of ground bait in there with the maggots laced into it, so they've got to really dig around to get it out. And of course I just said it's good for talking because the wind's gone down and the wind's coming right up and blowing straight in my face. So I've got no choice but to fish in the margins. Here's another fish. They're usually sucking those maggots up by through it, so I'm going to put the maggots in with the ground bait and they've got to dig them out a little bit. I feel somehow, good old Watmore, I'm going to salvage today. Totally different, I'm fishing, I'm going to say a foot to 18 inches from the margins. I'm going to put the rods right back here. I've got my, because you can't put stakes, bank sticks in there, so I've got my barrow arm with 2 holders in it. Probably only going to be fishing with one rod at a time. I'll see how I go. I can put one bit of paste on each one, but let's get some ground bait mixed up first. Got a little bit of maize that Grant's put in there to stop them sweating up, keeps your maggots from overheating. So I'm just going to bundle some in there. Not going to put too many in, there's not much ground bait there. But if you took too many maggots in, you can't squeeze them into ball, they'll break it up as soon as they get in there digging and wriggling around, as you can see. So don't overdo it with the maggots. If you're going to put the maggots in after that, I'll put them in just like this, just look, loose feed. This has already gone dried out quite a bit. I'll squeeze them into hard balls like this. probably about 3, that's all it will take to start. I mean, this is the sort of conditions you could get the pellet waggler method and get these fish feeding on it. Let's drop these in. Just literally. That's close in there. A bit of loose feed. These are all wiggling amongst the stones as well. You can see them going down. So I've rolled up the paste baits from the bag like this. Robin Red, which I have had a luncheon meat and caught before, so I'm not quite sure what they've done to bake it like this, but it's very, very sticky and stiff. But Grant did say if you wet your hand, you can soften it up a bit. I've rolled up some pellets, you know, as you can see here. I'll probably fish a slightly bigger one like that. That'd be about the right size, and these others can go in as loose feed. I reckon by the time I get these to the bank edge, a carp will have moved in on that ground bait and maggots. There's a fish moving just over the back there. I'll come in from the side here. I can see the ground bait is white, about where my head shadow is. Trying to spread the flavours about a bit. Right, what I'm going to do first, I'll try one of those paste baits further out and see if I can get anything taken slowly on the drop. I'll just chuck a little bit of loose feed out there, it gets the roach up normally. 2 rigs, I've got a link ledger, running link ledger, with a treble A shot here. If I put it like that, you should be able to see it. So I can actually take that shot off, put a heavier one on, or just have none on there except the swivel and the stop shot there. Hooks just here, indeterminate make, probably a wide gape, and this one will be just the hook and this BB. A much smaller one that I can put a bunch of maggots on, and a BB there, so sort of basic, almost a free line in that one. I'm hoping that's going to get used. My stuff's all over the place as usual. Now, most important is get that net facing the right way. It's got to be like that, slightly facing the swim. Trouble is the sun going around behind me. If I look up there, you see the sun going around here as it drops. Going to put my shadow on the water. So if I do want to spot a fish individually, I'm going to have to go in by these bushes. In fact, they're quite low. That's for a running line. I could put a rod rest down through here. You see, I've got a tube to take a rod rest through there, put it higher, and I can keep it up out of the close-in swim. God, look at the ants on that. So this goes through there. I just rest in that tube, and I've got a rod rest right up here. Take this one off. That was a triple headrest, but it's actually got snapped off by me at some stage. This is just a way of getting around bank sticks in swims and stuff like that. There we go, and then the rod can rest up there or not. The rod can rest up there like that. I can leave it out there, watch the rod top, it's not a quiver tip, and meantime just keep an eye out down here. Time for bait in the water. I've seen a couple of fish moving just under the surface there. I've thrown one of the paste baits out. The yellow banoffee pie one's gone out. I'm just going to tighten up. That's on the link ledger. So if I put that high enough, I can see that against the sky there, and in the meantime I can just close down here, just maybe free line maybe a bunch of maggots or something like that, and see if anything comes in. He's been talking to Andy. Andy's going to be doing some mowing over the back here. Andy's the owner of Watmore, and saying I think he's got a load more silver bream going in, and the silver fish has been really good. So anybody wants some float fishing, you know, literally the drop-offs are barely a rod length out, then there's some good float fishing here. And of course now they're stilled off, you might be able to see there are carp just cruising and cruising and cruising. So I'm hoping as that sun drops a little bit, I just need a couple of fish to salvage something for this trip. Well, to salvage yesterday's trip. Some of these fish are doubles. Wow, wait, look at this fish. You might be able to see a lot of willow blossom coming down, which Andy was saying actually can deoxygenate the water as well. So basically I've got 2 maggot baits just absolutely resting on the bottom where they're coming in there to feed, and just hoping one will pick the bait up in a minute. And this blossom, a lot of places, fisheries I've been to before, the willow blossom comes down especially, can be a pain for float fishing. Not too bad for ledgering, but obviously it messes the visibility, and also can apparently deoxygenate the water. First fish of the trip, unfortunately for me, is a perch. Hopefully they're not going to move in on the maggots. Well, another perch, a bit bigger. Got a decent fish on, people. Definitely a carp. Well, it's just touched ledgering and felt the take. I didn't actually see it, so let's hope he doesn't go in the rushes and ping me off, which is looks like he wants to go out in the rushes. Now that was on ground bait pace that time. Oh, he's planing out in the middle of it, so it's good. So all the time it's running out the deep, save it anywhere they come around the edges, they might get buried in the rushes. Feels like a good fish. That's where it's dangerous, in the rushes, in the edge. Trying to keep it laid over. Let's have a look at it, see if we can see it. Oh, it's a lump. That is a lump. Let's get this out of the way. Well, hopefully I can get this one. If it comes in reasonable. It's a good fish, it's a really good fish. Come on! I've got a camera in my mouth. I'm going to bring this off till I get it close to netting, people, because my battery's down. I haven't charged it up since yesterday. He's off, he's pinged off. Well, what can I say after yesterday? That was a good double figure fish too. Happy days. I can't think of the words. Well, I can, but I can't say them. A sickener, that's what it is, folks, a sickener. I've got an hour left. I've lost another one. That's 2 lost. Just pinged off. It's taking very funny. I've got a float on, a little stick float. Camouflage stick float, and put it on the inside about a foot deep. But this one's, oh, he's peeling me out, but he seems like he's, well, I'm not going to say he's hooked well, do you know what I mean? That'd be stretching the imagination a bit, the way the last day or so has been. It'd be just nice to come out with one decent fish. It's a common carp, I've seen it. Looks around the sort of 8s, maybe 9s. Here we go. Oh no, to the rushes. I'm going to bing off with the camera until I get it close, because look, he's melting me at the moment. It's re-evaluation time, guys. It's not £8. I think I need to go to Specsavers. Hopefully I'll just get you this one in to show you. Very old bend in the Avon rod. Right, I'll click off till I get the fish, guys. Right, I've got him in the net, and it is definitely a double. Oh my goodness. There we go. There's a little float, look, a little stick float. Fish looks about 12. Hopefully it's going to stay calm. Wow, that's a turn up for the books. I can tell you that first one was a real lump, bigger than this by half. Oh, there we go. A cracker, as they say. Really good fish. What you get at Watmore. Wow, turn that around. Struggled for a bit though. Changing baits. That was on a bunch of maggots, about 10 maggots. You know, I'd say he's about 12, I think. Oh, that's a nice carp. God. I just text the wife, what have we got for tea? Smoked haddock. That's sad, isn't it? Giving a fisherman smoked haddock. Anyway, I told her, I'm going to be late, have yours first. I'll catch up with mine. There might be a chance of one more. I'll start bailing some maggots in and sit back. Right guys, I finished hooking 3, few perch, 3 double figure carp. So the biggest one was about 15, both pinged off, and then I got the one about 12. So it's finished really good, pleased with that. Keep watching the shows, I'll get hopefully some decent fishing in again, and hopefully it's not as hard as that tench session, but we'll see you in the next programme.